Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Doug the Retirement Guy, and today we have our top 10 monthly paying ETFs with no NAV loss and that meet our or exceed our minimum 15% total return based on available data that we have. I put this together because so many people are rebalancing their portfolios, they're looking at different things in their retirement packages. So I thought this would be a great one to help try to give you 10 monthly paying ETFs that kind of narrows that path down to give you some decent ideas of what is available out there as you rebalance. Before we get into the video and give you the top 10, I want to put a shout out to our Patreon supporters and our YouTube members. Thank you so much for supporting and sponsoring of these videos. Also, all of our YouTube subscribers, welcome. You guys are starting to add on. You're starting to add on big. I appreciate that. If you're not part of the community, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. We'd love to have you part of the family. Let's get into today's video. Notice to all viewers, past performance does not guarantee future results, and the information in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, always contact a professional before making those decisions. So the screening criteria. So to build the top 10 list, I used a clear objective criteria. The funds must be a monthly paying income ETF. The historical distribution rate must be between 10% or higher, a minimum return rate of 15%. The fund must grow at a minimum 3% growth and show NAV stability observed so far, and a minimum of 1 year since inception. The strategy must be transparent and accessibility. These rankings are based solely on the screening criteria listed and do not serve as endorsements of future performance expectations. And that is going to be TSPY, TAP Alpha, the S&P 500 Growth and Daily Income ETF. Now this fund, I will be upfront and tell you that it did not hit all of our criteria, but it's such an important piece that I wanted to share with you. If the historical yield is 13.71%, but the growth was only 1.6%. But it gave us that total return of 15.31%. The fund over the past year to date, since January to now, you can see on the chart, had the April 2nd drop off. It had the November market correction, but both of them have come out of those fairly well. When we look at the inception time of it, this thing came out August 14th of 2024. So we're definitely over 1 year. And you can see in the performance, since inception, it's had a very strong 18 percentage point run. Now, this is a covered call structure. It generates income through option writing. And it works completely with the S&P 500, selling those 0 DTE option calls. At number 9, the NEOS S&P 500. Yes, we're sticking in the S&P 500 category. Now, S&PY made it with the 11.68% yield, the 3.76% growth for a total return of 15.39%. Very similar to what we had with the TAP Alpha. Again, shows both the April 2nd and the November corrections in the markets. This one came out August 30th of 2022, so it really has nearly over 3 years of performance under its belt. It does work with the S&P 500. It does work with the large cap equities, and it uses a tax efficient and a highly monthly income by actively investing in stocks and options of the S&P 500. At number 8, we move over to the NASDAQ 100, the IQQQ Pro shares. Now, this one just made it under the fence with the 10.33% yield, but it had a 5.66% growth. So the total return of 15.99%. You see it had the April and the November corrections. Now this is more of a hybrid option income design. It does pay that monthly income and it works with the NASDAQ 100. So that does track the index daily covering call writing on the the NASDAQ 100 fund to seek its income. Number 7, BIGY. I did not guess a yield max fund would make it to my list, but then when I looked and saw it was the Target 12 Big 50, and we just did a video on this one, that it just celebrated that 1-year birthday, so it made it underneath that cut. This one came out November 20th of 2024, and here's the thing with it. They're targeting a 12% return. That's their goal. And historically, this one hit 11.4% historical yield, 5.25% in growth, so it just barely made it over that mark, for a total return of 16.65%. And you can see it has the April 2nd, has the November corrections. But the Target 12 strategy is an option strategy focused on a diverse package of 50 large cap U.S. equities. It's an income generation. It uses option strategies to enhance income from the underlying large stock caps. The selection criteria is focused on the 50's largest U.S. companies, and it paid that monthly income, and it always continuously has that potential of giving you that continuous income. So this was an impressive piece from YieldMax, even though they've struggled in this past few months here. So this one made the list at number 7. Now at number 6, QQI. The NEOS NASDAQ 100 High Income ETF. It has the 13.7% yield with a 3.48% growth for a total return of 17.18%. Now, QQQI holds NASDAQ 100 equity exposure, similar to QQQ. This gives investors the access to large cap growth stocks such as technology, communication services, and consumer discretionary leaders. The option overlay, an actively covered call strategy of QQQI, generates income by selling options on the NASDAQ 100. Unlike static strategies, option selection and timing are actively managed. So the covered call is partially but not full of the entire fund. So this is what makes QQQI so interesting. They have actively managed to set when they want to do it. They're working with the volatility in the marketplace. They also are not putting the entire fund at risk and putting it all in at one time. Now, income is not fixed or guaranteed. Remember that. Yields never are. But the distribution levels and will vary as market volatility, option pricing, and the NASDAQ 100 performance. Okay, at number 5, we have KQQQ, the Curve Technology Titan Select ETF. Now, this one had a 10.72 yield, but had a nice 7.05% growth for a 17.72% total return. Now, the Curve Technology uses a informational technology equity. The fund aims to actively generate income and pursue capital appreciation from concentrated portfolio of large cap technology stocks. It's an option enhanced technology exposure. It meets all the screening requirements, and ours came in at the number 5 of the top rankings. This one was launched in July 22nd of 2024. And you can see the difference in theirs. They have a yield, but they have more growth. So it's kind of one of these things of what in your portfolio are you looking to do? Are you looking for more yield? Are you looking for more growth? Or you want happiness between the two? Now let's take a look at number 4, TUGN, the STF Technical Growth and Income. Now this one here is a tactical growth allocation. Strategic asset allocation with dynamic positions based on market conditions. It's a systematic income overlay, enhances the portfolio income through strategic use of option strategies. Now this one here has an 11.23% yield, a growth of 7.89% for a total return of 19.12%. The fund is actively managed and allocates among equities, fixed income, and money markets. Depending on the signals, from their basically their software that tracks the pricing actions across asset classes. So they're always looking at what's the hot piece. This one's been out since 2022, so we got many years, 3 years onto it to give us some backup, long-term look at a fund. Now, number 3, DYLG, the Global X Dow 30 Covered Call and Growth ETF. The yield 16.12%. Total growth 7.01% for a total return of 23.13%. These are some very good numbers in an ETF working with the Dow 30. Now, what is the Dow 30? This is the Dow Jones, the top 30 funds that they use, and they write half buy right index. The fund tracks the index of the Dow Jones stocks and sells 1 month at the money index calls up to 50% of the value of the underlying portfolio. So if you ever looked at this, and you've seen me talk before about like RexShares has a 50-50 blend, that 50% of the fund is going towards growth, 50% towards yield. They're doing the same thing with this fund, that they're not putting all of their cards on the table. They're trying to only use 50%. This one came out in 2023, so it's well into the 2-year mark with it. It's a well balanced between equity and call writing. Now, number 2 is GOOP, the Curve Yield Premium Strategy Google ETF. Now, this one, the yield 11.74%. But when I watched the growth on this one, 33.65%, I was really, I have to say this, blown away. It gives us a total return of 45.39%. It is a single stock premium income ETF built around Google. And they're using income versus growth. So the strong income generator with exceptional growth potential. And we see in 2025, it's had a great growth potential. It demonstrates how a single stock income strategy can behave differently from broader indexes. So the fund seeks to provide income and caps its growth on Google stock while doing a synthetic cover call strategy. So they're using the fixed termed income instruments to cover and use flex options to achieve its income. Now this one came out October 31st of 2023. So we're realistically 2 years into this operation. And number 1, SLVO. Now this one is USBS's E-Tracks, and it tracks the silver covered call, and it is an ETN. So I do have to clarify that. But it's a 19.46% yield with a 35.97% growth for a 55.43% total return. Silver has been in that upward run. You can see since inception, it's had a good 1 year and really a good 5 year. As a silver linked covered call ETN, it pays that monthly income. It historically produces over 16% yield with around 13% total return of growth. The commodities have behaved differently from equities, making SLVO a unique income strategy ETF. So this is why this one came out in 2013. And this is where it really comes into play that we're adding some silver, we're adding some equities, some single stocks, a lot of different things in our top 10. Now this is all ranked is based solely on past data and is not guaranteed for future performance. So now let's give you some key takeaways. Now averages are a comparison purpose only and don't represent our expected future performances. So when I put this all in a spreadsheet to give us our ranking from the lowest to the highest, and we did that pretty much by that total return, just to give you an update again. When we did an average, the average yield turned out to be 13% and the average growth of 11.13%. So the total average return gave us a 24.13% total return. Now the yields shown reflect historical distribution analyzed from available data and may vary significantly over time. This whole thing could change come Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever this video gets watched. These numbers all can change, but it gives you a snapshot of where it's at. And what it does is give you 10 funds that you can do your own research, your own look into the program. Does it fit your risk criteria? Does it fit your portfolio? How does it go? So it just gives you an idea that we have some S&P 500, we have some NASDAQ, we have some big 50 tech, some heavy tech with the curves, a lot of different things out there to just show you how each fund operates differently. So the key takeaways is yield and growth balance. Some monthly income ETFs show strong yields and growth at the same time, which may surprise many investors in today's market. The NAV behavior matters. Yield alone doesn't tell the story. NAV erosion or stability is equally important to long-term returns. That's why I always say total returns is what you have to look at. The strategy, covered call, premium income strategies, it's a wide variety and a wide across all issuers. So you have to understand what's good and bad. What is it that you like in a covered call or you don't like in a premium in call, or vice versa. And past performance. Past performance helps with analysis, but does not predict the future results. So always do your research in ETFs. Look for as long as you can go out as you possibly can. And don't just think past performance does not guarantee future results. I can say that so many times. But you got to understand what's going on. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of these top 10 lists. Did you hear of every one of these? Have you ever invested in any of these? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And maybe we missed one off the list. I'd love to hear if we missed one. Let us know.
Thank you for watching. Press the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join. Leave any comments